I have a question for you. Are you done yet? When is enough enough for you people out there? Seriously. We've had 2 years of utter gong show with something that we were told that was killing millions of people, that it has now been shown through the misrepresentation of data that was only about 17,500 people it affected, like, as a mortality. And no death is a good death ever, but people die of things every other day. There's a lot more people die of cancer per year than that thing. Then, once we've got over that, get put into a position of get your jib jab or you can't go on holiday. So I know so many people who, out of fear or stupidity, I'm not really sure which one it is, ended up getting jibby jabbied without even looking into anything so they could go on holiday. Those who have done it so they didn't lose their job, I have slightly more understanding of that, but still, you need to look into these things and what's in it. And now, as you've probably noticed, you're actually getting on the mainstream news, which has not made me laugh, but I was shown something from mainstream news that is now showing you the amount of injuries, the jab injuries that are now being talked about through mainstream media. Myocarditis, swelling of the heart, has gone up a ridiculous amount since the jabs have been out, along with numerous other things. Again, I always state this, just go and look at the amount of sports people that are hitting the deck. And if you look at the official FIFA stats for the last 20 odd years prior to the gong show kicking off, you will see that only an average of 4.2 people per year would go down with some form of heart issue on a football pitch, and that's gone up into the hundreds and hundreds now. So anyway, we've had all that happen. You had enough yet? Have you had enough yet? Yeah, now you've been told you can take your muzzles off. Yeah, now you've been told you can travel. Now you've been told you ain't got to shove these things up your nose. Oh, actually, on that subject as well, my mum, very interesting. Mum's been sent loads of letters from the Imperial College of London, who we know who they're funded by, and she won't be answering any of those. But it's been really interesting because she's been getting me to read the language of these particular letters. And these letters have been stating, we'd like you to take lateral flow tests so we can check the difference between the C word and flu and the impact it's had on the community. Now, my mum's not jabbed. She won't be shoving anything up her nose for anybody. But the one thing I wanted to say within this letter, and this is what flagged her up and got me to read it, was that there's one particular sentence in the first letter she was sent that said, when you take these tests, you might, or no, it doesn't say might, sorry, get the language right, you may experience mild discomfort for some time after. Now, that's a very curious statement, because like my mum said to me, if she walked into the bathroom now, got a cotton bud, and shoved a cotton bud up her nose, she wouldn't feel any mild discomfort. So my question is, I always ask questions, just ask questions. What the hell are they sticking on these things for you to be experiencing mild discomfort? You've got to ask yourself the question, because you could do it as an experiment. Go in the bathroom now, shove a cotton bud up your nose. You won't get mild discomfort unless you're banging the frigging thing up through your blood-brain barrier. There you're going to have a problem. So that's, sorry, just totally random that was. So she's getting these letters. First one turns up, oh, would you like to be part of this study to help us out? Then she gets another letter saying, for the good of people and for the safety of people, we'd like you to do this. And the funniest one was the third letter turns up like a red reminder for your gas bill. All in red, we really need your help to save the lives of people. Biggest load of shit I've ever seen. As far as I'm concerned, they're just DNA harvesting, or whatever is on them fricking things that are getting to wedge you up your nose is going to cause you some serious problems. So just be aware of that. That just made me laugh, because again, it's more manipulation, language manipulation. And this is the whole thing. I work in language and awareness, so I read stuff, I listen to stuff, I go, oh, that's an interesting sentence that person just said. Anyway, the purpose of this video, enough. When are you going to have enough? What's happening out in the Ukraine at the moment is not what you think's happening out there. But if you're watching mainstream media, you're going to be seeing a lot of propaganda again around the subject that's going on out there, that's not happening out there. We do not have a shortage of fuel of any description whatsoever. There is no reason on this plane of existence for your bills to be going through the roof now. It's just more squeeze the population, try and bring in the WEF universal living wage and all that bollocks that those people want to bring in, that I've said to you again, you can go on the website and check it out, please do. Squeeze, 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 squeeze until you just give in. Are you going to give in, or are you going to start kicking back? There are ways you can kick back, by the way, so stop using the big producers like BP, Shell, people like that, Esso, get away from them, go to the supermarkets, make them start losing some money. When it comes to your electric, gas and the water, there are things you can do. You can have your meters removed and you can have your own meters put in. This is something I'm just looking into at the moment that I only became aware of a few months ago. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep you guys updated with my progress around this subject as well. So I'm just waiting for an electrician to come and take out the smart meter and put me in my own meter, because apparently all that the electricity companies own is the meter. And that's pretty much what they charge you for. You don't get charged really for the electric, you get charged for rental of the meter, which is something that you don't know. So you then have the option to go direct to National Grid, Transco, whoever it is that are a big main bringers in of this stuff, because the electric companies do not own all the equipment that goes to your house. It's owned actually by someone else. So this is very curious. So this is what I'm going to do, because I'm not buying into this. I am not having my electric bill tripled by a bunch of numpties who just want to squeeze and make more money, because that's all it is. It's just the rich are getting richer and richer and richer and richer, and I'm up for anybody making money, but not at the cost of people now not being able to live and put food on their table. Enough is enough, people. Did you also know that council tax is not mandatory? So I have lots of evidence videos on my phone of councillors locally to me that have been sat in meetings going through certain legislation under the Financial Act of 1992, where it states that it's actually not a mandatory payment. So when you understand that process as well, you can pull out of it. Again, I have mentioned before a group that a friend of mine runs called Stacey's World Rocks on Telegram. I would suggest that you jump on there, have a good read through stuff, because if you want out of this system, you can legally pull out of this system. You just need to know what you're doing. As I've always said to you guys when I'm talking about all of this stuff that's gone on through this whole entire shit show, it's a game of chess. The whole legislative system, think of it like a massive game of chess, that we're not taught the rules to that game of chess when we're in school. So there's people, some people are taught all the rules, some people are taught 3/4 of the rules, some people are taught half the rules, and some of us are taught none of the freaking rules, right? And all it is if you're playing against someone who is a grandmaster who knows all the rules, you're probably going to lose unless you have a fluke. So it's the same game of chess for everybody, legislation. It's just some people know the rules for that game of chess and some people don't. So what I suggest you do is I suggest you go and learn the rules to this game of chess, and you start saying no. Enough is enough now. Enough is enough. We need to start standing up. We need to start waking up, yeah, to how much you're being played, screwed and done up the backside on a regular basis. And we need to say no to this now. There's not limited resources. This is one of the biggest scams that there ever has been. And all you've got to think now is, it doesn't matter. For these people that are putting the prices up, they don't give a flying monkey's arse, for the simple fact that they've got more money than they need to care about. So they don't care. They can just keep going with it and keep going with it and keep going with it. When is enough, guys? For me, enough is enough now. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go through all these processes. I will keep you all updated along the way with my happy journey. And if I end up in prison, bring me a nail file and a cake. Thank you very much. Right, I love you all, and I'll speak to you soon.